All right. Well, as much as I do love background conversation and swapping of background, especially for Funding Friday, so this is an artsy day. It is 1 minute, it's 9:29 here in Mountain Time. And so per what we've been doing for our other Kicking the Days mornings off, I'm going to play a video. This video I created last fall for the ESIP lab before going to an event called Fee Week in Frascati. And it was just supposed to be a little bit about ESIP in the lab. So I'm going to go ahead and play that while people are still entering the room. And then I will give some Funding and Friday instructions. So if you want to mute yourself, go ahead, and I am going to start the video. Oh, wait, share your computer audio. Hold on.
That's right. You want to do that?
We keep talking about Zoom backgrounds. Okay. Can you guys hear audio now?
The Earth Science Information Partners, also known as ESIP, is a U.S.-based nonprofit organization that believes quality of life, economic opportunities, and stewardship of the planet are enhanced by regular use of scientifically sound data and information provided in a timely manner. ESIP members constitute many of the principal technologists charged with the stewardship of earth science data across the public, private, and academic sectors. They understand that no one agency, institution, or individual collects all data needed to fully understand Earth's complexity. So collaboration and knowledge sharing around the computational infrastructure to collect, manage, and serve those data is critical. That said, to maximize the use and impact of earth science data, it is critical that we enable researchers to experiment with the type of data management and analysis techniques required to fully leverage our current technology paradigm. This is where ESIP's lab is playing a critical role. Through small grant funding and community engagement, the ESIP lab supports researchers as they experiment with building innovative software and data management systems that align with community-accepted best practices. Most importantly, ESIP lab projects are part of an active community that provides rapid, insightful feedback, ultimately resulting in more impactful, community-vetted technology.
Alrighty, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right. So now that you've all watched the lab video that is on the lab's website, if you found it that it explained ESIP, or sometimes you or have a reason that you'd want to share that, it is on the esipfed.org/lab website. So with that, I'm going to do a little screen maneuvering here. And I will welcome, great, we have 63 people. That's just fantastic. Welcome everyone to Funding Friday. So I'll get a little bit of overview how this is gonna work, but really for the next 15 or so minutes, I want you to have a chance to browse the posters and talk to the folks that made each poster. So, so I'm gonna give some instructions first. So what we're gonna do is, if you were a person that created a poster, you can look in Kiko chat and you'll see your first name and what we came up as a title for your poster in one of these Kiko chat rooms. So when I say go, what I'm gonna do is have each of those poster, let's just call them PIs, go into the room and have all of us start to browse each of those posters. You don't have to ask specific questions, but normally when we're in person, the posters are all on the wall, and the attendees of the ESIP meeting are kind of drinking their coffee. As I see Alexis is drinking her coffee, I'm drinking my coffee because I'm on mountain time, and perusing the posters that are on the wall. So I'd like us to try to mimic that opportunity. So we're going to go into, or each of the poster PIs, if you could now go into the room that's associated with your poster. And I'm gonna wait to send everyone else or have everyone else go there until I see that people are in the room. So Amber, Robert, Sarah, Dan, Ruth, Jensen, Alexis, Jake, and Steven. If you could, in Kiko Chat, find where it says your name, then click on the blue button that says poster and then a number, and enter that room. And you'll have to leave this Zoom meeting to start a new one, but then you can say join the video for that room. That will allow the other folks that are here to enter your room and have a chat with you. So Kiko Chat is somehow delayed, but it looks like from the videos that I still see that most people, so Sarah and Amber, can you guys give me a thumbs up if you're gonna head over to your Kiko Chat rooms? I see Amber's a thumbs up. Sarah, are you over, have you clicked on your Kiko Chat room? Okay. So what we're going to have to do to participate, if you would like to talk to people in their rooms, you'll have to leave this Zoom. And I'm going to ask that we are all back here in the main room by, let's see, it is 9:36, 50 minutes after the hour. And one more prompt that I'm going to give, after 2 minutes in each poster, you'll hear a ding. That is a timer just reminding you, since we only have about 15 minutes for this activity, to make sure that you go to different posters. So if you hear a ding, that means that we'd like you to move to the next poster and check it out, just like the one you heard. So
hey, Annie.
That, oh yes.
Wait, did you say we'll be back here by 10:15?
50, 50.
9:50.
9:50. I'm
Okay.
going to put it in the chat.
And that is
you'll get an alert through Kiko Chat when we say we want you to all come back. So for you to be able to go, so you can leave this Zoom and head into a room and say hi to your poster presenters, and we'll see you back here at 50 after the hour. And I will stay here in case anyone has questions.
I just got in here because my computer rebooted. Hi.
So we're asking if you could go, do you see in Kiko Chat, there's a room that says Dan with Make the Citizen Science Data Matter?
I will go right there. Thank you.
Head over there and you bet, turn on your Zoom in that room.
Perfect.
So Annie, this is Nancy. I'm not seeing the list of rooms from Kiko Chat. All I see is the main plenary and all day coffee and social service and all day health.
Oh, you're in, you have to be in the Funding Friday main room.
Okay.
So
I'll
put it in chat for you, Nancy.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Sorry, didn't get that part. Thanks.
Sudhir, if you want to cruise posters, I'll stay here in the main room in case people come with questions.
Okay.
You're welcome to stay here. I was just going to say, if you want to.
No, I think
posters,
I'll
you're welcome.
cruise around. And so, any quick question then. So I think for every 2 minutes you're going to ring the bell, though. Then I don't.
Okay, more folks are coming back. For the clock to tick. send the message. All right, wait for everyone to stream on back. So one thing with using the Kiko chat breakouts, you can't yank everyone back like you can with Zoom. Aaron, have you ever tried to, in the admin controls, say just close all the rooms in the, or like just delete them? I assume that
I haven't.
I bet
I think it would
would
still, yeah.
Yeah, because
it
has nothing to do with the Zoom. Zoom
and you
event.
just have like floating people that are just like floating out there somewhere in cyberspace, just lost.
You have to be careful with the nuclear option.
Yeah, that big red button, you can't, it's not something you just press on a whim.
Well, if everyone's lost in space, you could use the semantic sweep poster approach to retrieving them.
Great. Good tie-in. Let's see, people are more coming back. I think I saw about 70 people when we sent everyone back initially.
52.
I'll give one more.
Annie, are they supposed to be back 11:50?
Yeah, it's the wrap up those conversations, really.
Right. I think the time was not enough. I was only able to do only few. It seems like,
Well, you'll see the pitches too.
Yeah,
so this is really just the like browse with coffee.
Yeah, I think everyone, like, we could say it's going to be 30 minutes, but even if we were in person, sometimes you hit a couple and you chat with a bunch. So it's more, I think, keeping things moving along. But yeah, so I feel the lesson of the meeting is half the people we always want more. Okay, I'm gonna send one more.
Are we going through just like we did in the real meetings?
Yeah.
We're going to have pitches from each of them.
You bet.
Okay, this was just an initial browse.
Yeah, this is just the have a chance to chat with people, since during the pitches it's not a question and answer. So this was if you're able to have a chat. So we're up to 64. Okay, I'm gonna give one more minute, and in the meanwhile, I'm going to share a screen for some people to see here. All right.
We are having an awesome conversation. Sorry, we're
of course. that's always okay. We're up to 71. I feel okay about starting. So in the theme of this year's a little bit different because we're virtual. Of course, voting is different as well. So I'm going to go over the voting rules 2 times, since there's always confusion with this, and hopefully this year we're just going to nail it and everyone's going to understand. So, and I'm going to ask you to use your reaction button so I get a visual cue of people understand. So on the bottom of your Zoom, you'll see a little icon. It says reactions. So I'm going to go over the voting rules, and then if you can give me a thumbs up if it is clear, and a clap if it is not clear, so I can let's not do that. Let's just give a thumbs up if it's clear, nothing else if it's not clear. So we will be using a Google form for voting. The form is embedded in Kiko chat on the top tab of the main page. You can see member voting and student voting. Those 2 Google forms are not enabled right now, so you cannot vote currently. Each of you has 3 votes total. So you can give all of your votes to one poster, or you could spread your votes out. So as you can see in the form that I'm sharing, the first field is a pseudonym. And this is our attempt to say you can only vote once, come up with a name for yourself, Tater Tot, Mars, Juniper, Sweet Pea, whatever. come up with a pseudonym, and then you're going to see a list of posters. So we have 6 member posters. So there will be posters 1, poster 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Under each poster, there is a checkbox for 1, 2, or 3. That is the total number of votes you can give a poster. So now we're going to use some hand signals here for those that are on video. If I give 3 votes to poster 1, how many votes can I give to poster 2? 0. That's right. If I check the box for poster 1 and I give 2 votes to poster 2, how many can I give to poster 3?
0.
0. All right. So since there are 6 posters, you can see a little note. If you do not want to give a poster any notes, just don't click any boxes, okay? So none of these are required, so you won't say you have to fill in a box. So if you have given your votes to, if you say 3 votes for poster 1, leave everything else blank. And when I get the form on the back end, if someone has given out 8 votes, then that is an invalid ballot. And I might have to call you out by your pseudonym and you can clarify. So because we only have 3 submissions in the teacher student category, congratulations. We give out 3 awards. So you guys, we know, are already all winners. So you are already all winners in our minds anyway. That being said, Jake is psyched about that. That being said, we still do want to give people an opportunity to vote on their favorite poster. So we could call out, though you're all winners anyway, that it's the same deal with students. So you get 3 votes on your member form. When you go over to your student voting, you get a new 3 votes. So if you, same rules apply. If you give 3 votes to the first poster, the student poster, those are all the votes you have. So you have 3 votes for members, 3 votes for students. They are separate forms. Can you give me a thumbs up if that is clear? Visual or icon. All right. Okay, if you have any voting questions, please put your questions in the chat. There are lots of people on this call that understand the rules and can happily answer those for you. So again, please go ahead and do that. So I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Stop sharing. Okay.
So Annie, where do we find the voting forms?
The voting forms, I will share my Kiko chat screen next so we all can see that. Share screen, and let's go here, share. Okay, so Rama's question was, where are the voting forms? So here is the main room where we are in Kiko chat, or where you should be. There's a tab at the top that says member posters and student posters. Next to this, these are all tabs. It just looks like tests. There is a member voting and student voting form. So as you can see, it says we're no longer collecting submissions. This is because we didn't want any early voting. We will turn those on as soon as I say go, and you can refresh your screen and they will be live forms. So does everyone thumbs up if you understand where the voting forms are? Thumbs up, excellent. Okay, now stop sharing again. Now let's do another, so it's almost pitch time. If everyone that is not a poster presenter, please turn off your camera. So if you made a poster, leave your camera on. If you did not make a poster, turn your camera off. So we should have 9 cameras on plus mine and Sudhir.
Annie, there's one quick question in the chat about whether students and teachers can vote, or if it's just partners.
You absolutely can vote. If you are a student or teacher, if you attended the meeting, you have a vote. You're allowed to vote for yourself. Good question. Okay, so now what we're going to do is everyone who's on the Zoom, go to the top of your window and there's a little drop down that says oh wait, let's see, show non-video participants. Oh, we don't want to do that. Okay, so we're good to go. So normally it's the hide non-video participants, but I think we're set. Okay, so I'm giving instructions now to all of our presenters. Hi, presenters. So what we're gonna do is Sudhir is gonna be our timer and he's gonna tell you how that's gonna work. But you saw basically what order you are. We put a number on your poster and that is the order that we're gonna go in. So when it's your turn to present, I'm gonna ask that you turn your camera on and everyone else turn their camera off. So we'll see your picture on the right and the poster on the left. I'm gonna be sharing my screen so everyone can see it clearly. So let's go ahead and test to make sure. So Amber, you're gonna be our first one up.
Hi.
Actually, let's see. Sudhir, do you want to tell everyone how you're going to do the timing or what they should listen for?
Hi, everyone. So after every 2 minutes, I'll have a timer in my phone and then I'll just ring the bell. So you have the time. Once it finishes ringing, then you move on to and I'll announce the other presenter and then they'll start and then I'll start my timer again. Is that clear to everyone?
Clear? All right, so we are going to do the member posters first. I'd encourage you to have a piece of paper, jot notes down as we're going through about which posters you intend to vote on. I am going to go ahead and start sharing my screen here. And I'm going to make this larger, so don't worry. Okay, so now Amber is going to be up first. So if you are not Amber, if you could turn your cameras off. All right, and I'm going to turn my camera off. Now hold on. Sudhir is going to keep himself off of mute. Dan, can you turn your camera off? Okay, I will turn mine off. Sudhir, if you could turn your camera off.
Okay, give me a moment.
Okay, Amber, so Sudhir, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce Amber and tell her when to start. So Sudhir, it's all you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Annie. So our first presenter is the Amber from Data One, and she'll be talking about, and from anyone from her team as well, if they want to present, why is this so hard? So Amber, go. My timer starts.
Great, thanks. So the question of why is it so hard is speaking explicitly to finding a data repository. So picture a junior researcher figuring out where to put their first set of research data. How do they know what to do? We asked ESIPers that question on Tuesday during our session. And if you were to zoom in a lot on that right-hand side column, you can see their answers. And these are available in our notes, but the column is really just showing the breadth of responses. One of the first responses to come in was Google. People go to Google to find a data repository, but also they think about domain repository, they think about FAIR, they think about certification. But what does all of that mean to a researcher? So I have been asked by a newly minted PhD what a data repository was. It might seem like a naive question, but it doesn't reflect naivety. It reflects an insufficient outreach by information managers. So if you then throw in FAIR and Core Trust Seal, then they can be really lost. As information managers, we know there are many resources to help answer this question. There's 3.3 Data, Core Trust Seal, Repository Finder, FAIR, journals. But all of these are embedded within our landscape and not the landscape of the domain researcher. It's not part of their workflow or toolkit. There might be many challenges faced by researchers in publishing their data, but guidance shouldn't be one of them. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to make resources. We need to create awareness around them. And we can do this through outreach, whether it be infographics, workshops, publications, or a game that can be used in labs, something that we're already planning for the AGU. So the format of the outreach is going to be determined through discussion with early career researchers, and this is going to be work that will support all data repositories. In summary, researchers shouldn't have to work so hard to find the answer to the fundamental question, where should I put my data?
All right, Amber, you're done. Wow, you sure about
done.
All right, that's great. Wow, that's very timed. So it will ring. So, all right.
Yay.
Let's go against convention, and instead of everyone muting, everyone can unmute and give an actual round of applause to Amber. Let's hear some noise.
Woo. Yay. Woo.
Awesome, Amber.
How'd I do that?
All right. Nice work, Amber.
All right.
Thanks.
Back to you,
That's
Sudhir.
cool. All right. So yeah, please take a note. And Robert and the team, if you could turn your camera on.
Hi, everybody. Actually, I don't have the camera. If that's okay. I tend to be a little shy, and plus with the cabin fever, I think I look too scraggly to have it on.
All right, that's
no
great.
worries, Robert.
Right. All right, so the Robert and his team, if you would like to bring in your team to speak, or then you'll be talking. They'll be talking about the semantic sweep.
Great. Should I start, or is there a timer?
Yes, start.
Okay, thanks. Hi, everybody. Okay, so just like we want to preserve the environment on the ground, so we should in orbit. And so the orbital space environment has a relatively increasing number of objects, and a lot of debris has been formed over a few incidences over the years. And that debris presents a threat to both our astronauts in space and then people on the ground. And it also poses a threat to the millions and billions of dollars of assets we have there. So this project, this idea is about using semantic technology, knowledge models, knowledge representation, and reasoning, which is a part of AI, to basically model that and tag the data, orbital data, and other types of space situational awareness data in order to create a greater sense of awareness, a greater actionable awareness of that environment, so decision makers can make actionable, positive, progressive decisions to protect that environment, as well as maneuver our spacecraft from that hazard. So this, I have about 9 publications on this. All of the effort is unfunded, independent work. It's something I've been looking for a studentship for quite a number of years, and I'm hoping to eventually find something like that or some opportunity for this. And some work involves basically creating ontologies for different aspects of this, such as orbital debris, such as spacecraft, and so forth. And by doing so, we can both search, retrieve, do automated read.
All right.
That's it.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right,
Robert.
thank you.
Everyone, loud, unmuted. Round of applause for Robert.
Yay, Robert. That's good.
Yeah, all right.
Good job, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. So our third picture is Sarah and the team. And if you would like to do your video on, if you prefer. Are you going to?
It should be, my video should be on now.
Okay. Yep. No, yeah, there was a lag. Okay,
oh.
Great. So Sarah and the team, they'll be talking with the Mars mapping.
For our poster, we're asking for funding to expand an existing service to serve the broader ESIP community. So curation and management needs for physical samples have come up a lot in a number of ESIP sessions this past 2 weeks, most recently in the credit for research object session or artifact session, the proliferation of vocabularies plenary, and of course in the physical samples session yesterday. A common issue though is how do we make the world of samples fair? And translating these ideals that are coming out of ESIP into the services and actions tailored for the needs of this small sample world of physical samples. Not small, like to say it's not like small, they're not small collections, it's not small work, but small in comparison to say the world of satellite data. These communities may not have the technical resources to reach supporting these ideals. So one tool that came up in these discussions is the Mars Middleware. It's a tool for registering samples with IGSNs, a persistent globally unique identifier for physical samples at CSAR. Currently, Mars maps, the middleware maps metadata in NOAA's standard for marine and lacustrine samples to CSAR's metadata schema. And this funding, if awarded, would be used to support students at the College of Charleston to complete the next phase of MARS, which is making a map making tool. This tool would support any data in any format to be merged to map into the CSAR schema. And as you can see on our poster, we've already had interest from a number of groups who are eager to adopt the use of persistent identifiers in their work, but they need the assistance this tool provides in order to reach that goal. And hopefully Alex can say a little bit more about what that means.
Yeah, the real inspiration for this project was for curators like myself. I manage a large geological collection out at Scripps Institution of Oceanography, and we have tens of thousands of samples that need IGSNs, and currently it's quite manual to get IGSNs for all of these samples. And the idea of this middleware was to help to streamline that, so the amount of time it takes to get these IGSNs is greatly reduced. And the good part about that is, now I'm done. Thank you, everybody.
Unmuted applause. Nice job, everyone.
Yeah.
Great job. All right. So our fourth presenter is Dan and the team. So Dan, if you would like to.
Hello, I'm Daniel Fuca, and I'm taking this very serious, as you can tell, because I have moved from my hammock into my chair. And
So
with that being...
Okay, great. Okay, now I see you.
And with that being said, I'm just going to talk about making citizen science data fair, a title much better than my humorous title in broad title.
Your timer starts, Mike, Dan.
Hello?
All right. Yes, sorry. Your timer starts.
Oh my gosh, I already started before that. Sorry. So I'm proposing is a $10 multi-cluster, multi-committee, end-to-end tutorial and benchmarking workflow that we can use to both teach as well as learn within the various ESIP committees and clusters that are listed here. And basically what we have is each of these clusters is spot on and extremely knowledgeable, but what I have noticed while hanging out in the ag, climate, and environmental sensing is I'm still having problems with, while I can get data and I can shove it into a database or a server somewhere, I'm having problems getting the correct, defining correct ontologies and getting the correct semantics injected so that that data can be found by everyone, not just me. So really, ag climate poses the problem down in the left-hand corner. Envirosensing builds up the sensor and it generates lots of data. We can shove that data into databases, but we want to make sure that it is findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. So we're going to build the workflow and an example that you can go out and we can just use a $10 device and teach all components from ag, climate, envirosensing, getting the semantics injected with the good ontologies, so that anyone up in the upper right hand corner can start doing their analysis, as well as that information can be shoved down automatically ingested through machine learning, so that we can determine if down in the right hand corner, is that a good doggo, a big doggo, or not a doggo at all.
All right.
And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Dan. You've been really right on time. Good round of applause for Dan. All right. I didn't hear a round of applause. I'll do it again.
One more round of applause.
All right. Thank you. So our fifth presenter is Ruth and the team, and they're talking science on the schema.org. Ruth, you want to share? Yep. Okay, great.
I am. All right. Well, the issue here is that science on schema.org, which is the ESIP cluster, is coming up with specifications, but specifications are written for technical people. And a lot of the groups that I would like to enable with these technologies are not really staffed with highly technical people. They're staffed with data managers who may not be coders of any kind. But they do want to make their data findable on the web. And some of them might be from very small communities like Sarah was mentioning that don't have a lot of technical capacity. They may not have anything beyond the ability to have a few web pages. And what they need is something straightforward and direct, and written in plain English that they can understand in order to implement it. Part of the issue with things like schema.org is if you have a lot of choices, you know, highly technical and well-funded repositories, well, okay, comparatively speaking, have a lot more resources and may want to do a lot more than the lower end community repositories might be able to do. But in order for that to be a level playing field, and that entire range of organizations needs to, you know, come and do schema.org in a common way. And so that's the whole point of this, is to basically do plain language versions of the schema.org work that's happening here in ESIP, and to make it such that communities that have a wide range of capacities can actually play on a level playing field.
All right, thank you. And a round of applause for Ruth.
Okay, big round of applause for Ruth.
Bye, Ruth.
Awesome. So now we will move on to the student poster
Oh,
section.
one more.
Yep. Oh,
Jensen's up.
Jensen,
This is our last member poster.
all right, Jensen and the team, and change my code in one place. Jensen, you want to show your video?
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
So should I start?
Yep, you're ready. Yep.
Okay. So so this idea is we want to propose extend the ESIP GeoWeaver to make it able to maintain your notebooks in one place, in where you have long-term ownership, like your laptop or your own server. So when you want to use the clouds like AWS, GCP, and Azure, they can only get your code when you want to run them. So you don't have to, you know, migrate from one cloud to another. It's all in your laptop. The benefit of doing this is you will have all the latest code on your local machine, while you will have, so the GeoWeaver will be able to record every run, the provenance information, record the input and output, and every time the notebook is executed, you will see the history in the database of GeoWeaver. So everything, all the information about the notebook will be recorded in your local machine. So that's the idea of maintain the notebooks and make it stay with you forever. So you don't have to worry, when the AWS EC2 machine is done or is expired, the Google Earth Engine subscription is expired. You don't have to worry about where you should move your code, your notebooks, and the code, the experience transferring from one cloud to another will be very smooth. So that's what we are proposing to do here, and it will also make you to have full control about your provenance information. Like every time you run the workflow, you will see the results, and all the results will be recorded forever in the database. So that's the key idea about using the GeoWeaver to do it the same thing. We already do the same thing for the Shell and the Python. So this is the thing.
Thank you, Jensen. Great on time. Round of applause for Jensen.
Yay! Nice work, Jensen. Okay, I'm going to switch.
So we'll switch to the student poster section.
Yep.
And
I gotta just new share, one moment.
Yeah. So our first presenter, Alexis, and she'll be pitching about her Columba.
Okay, Sudhir, whenever you're ready for the timer.
All right. So, yep, I'm ready. Alexis, yep, when you are.
Okay. So citizen science is a growing area for data generation And many citizen scientists are active across multiple platforms, including biodiversity data submission, earth science data submission, and all sorts of types of citizen science generated images and data. These data are often reported to centralized repositories, and research output is generated from those aggregated data sets. Return of results is often only given back to the repository the data was generated from and the original project, but not back to the specific citizen scientist, which makes provenance tracking and return of results very challenging. So my proposal is for Columba, named after the homing pigeon, to help home results with the scientists who collected them, the citizen scientists, and help track citizen scientists across multiple platforms to have a better sense of impact of citizen science projects. So Columba will identify citizen scientists tracked back to an ORCID and allow to aggregate those observations into a centralized reporter of the total observations collected and how those observations are being used in research outputs. So Columba will generate the list from a reporter like GBIF, which is what we'll first start with, is reporting back from GBIF to the citizen scientists to aggregate the research objects like articles or Wikipedia pages that have used their data. This will improve provenance tracking, improve return of results, and help make citizen scientists feel more integrated into the research that they're helping to produce. There you go.
All right, thank you.
Okay, extra loud round of applause.
Extra loud.
Yay, Alexis.
Awesome, Alexis. So our next presenter is Jake and the team, and they'll be talking about the SOS Explorer. And you want to have your video on? Or... Okay, awesome.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. Hi, I'm Jake Hines. I'm a teacher at Thomas Stone High School, southeast of Washington, D.C. We're a Title I school, and I'm here today with my student and daughter, Anna, who's an honor student and a flipped classroom learner. I'm also joined by Patrick Rowley, who's on the call with us. He is a grant partner from the James E. Richmond Science Center, where they have a Science on the Sphere, and he's a recognized expert from many, many moons ago with Science on the Sphere. So we are planning to do a virtual field trip with the Science on the Sphere here in Charles County, Maryland. We are able to take students, but only about 20 or 40 at a time, to see the sphere and to see that data presented to them in a real visual way. But we think we can make it more diverse and dispersed for students.
The virtual field trip will expand the amount of people who can go from the 20 to 40 students to the entire freshman class, if not the whole school district. And it will be adaptable to all different types of learning types, including foreign language learners and special education. It's flexible for the time and date. As a student, being able to do the flipped classroom, you can go at your own pace, and you can work with the visual, the textile, and the audio aspects to find out which way you learn best in a funner and deeper way than you would if you were just getting lectured at. And it's ready-made for teachers.
And by ready-made, what we're referring to is that we will start with this grant. We'll generate 2 virtual field trips, hopefully a third if we can stretch the time. And what will be created is basically working with, in collaboration with our grant partner, we'll make a transcript, an SOS data set playlist. We'll make a script so that teachers can teach it themselves. Students can walk themselves through it, or they can have Patrick as a docent walk them through it. It can be live streamed. It can be recorded, posted to Edpuzzle, and all of this will be ready-made and in the can for teachers.
All right.
Yay! Yay!
Awesome.
Thank you, Jake. That's great. And so our next, last but not least, is Stephen, and we're talking about some of the drone applications. And Stephen, if you wanted to have your video on. Okay, great. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. My name's Steve Martell. My name's Steve Martell. I teach at Henry County High School. We're going to collaborate with the middle school, which we have the opportunity of being right down the hill from. The 7th grade science teacher there, and both of our schools are Title I schools. We're the only middle school and high school in the district. It's a rural district. The purpose of the project is that students are going to use drones to take multiple images at certain time intervals, whether that's multiple times a week, whether that's the same day each week. That depends on the weather, really. And depending on the student's comprehension level, they can focus on the visual changes of those images. They can correlate those to given phenomena, whether it's rain, drought, if animals have been in that particular field or not. As I said, we are agricultural and rural. Some of the higher level learners, especially in my class at the high school level, can take those images and can use machine learning. The other teacher and I were a part of U of L's National Science Foundation research project last summer, and we're able to work at the University of Louisville with their machine learning department, analyzing images like for minefield detection. And so if we can use that same sort of technology in these images, that I think the kids would get a big kick out of that. The big goal of the project is to have the kids out there doing science like scientists do, acting as professional scientists, gathering that data in a very structured and scientific way, and then going back and analyzing that, looking at the cross-cutting concepts and the science and engineering practices for cause and effect, for the structures of function and things like that. And also to be able to predict any future changes based on that real world data. So the applications for that is we want the students to get out there and be scientists. It's one thing to, I think especially science education has changed to the point where it's not so much just knowing the facts, right? Knowing the periodic table off the back of your hand, but going out and being able to do those things and make the decisions from there.
All right. Thank you, Stephen. And a good round of applause for Stephen.
Yay! Stephen. Where are you located, Stephen?
I am located in Henry County, Kentucky, which is a little closer to Louisville than it is Cincinnati, but it's there along the I-71 corridor.
All right.
All right. Thanks to all the presenters.
Yeah, all the presenters.
I'll pass it to Annie.
Great.
Yay,
Everyone who is comfortable turning their camera on, if you want to turn your camera on, including other folks. All right. We've got 82 people here. So let's give our presenters one more big unmuted round of applause. This is a lot harder than it looks. Nice work, everyone. All right, so we're back. So if you keep your cameras on, we're back to that voting form. One more time for those who weren't here earlier. You have 3 total votes. In the tab that says member voting, you'll open that up, add your pseudonym. I'm looking out my window. I could call myself Recycling Bin or Rosebush or whatever. Come up with a name for yourself. If I give 3 votes to poster 1, how many can I give to poster 2? 0. If I give 1 vote to poster 1, 1 vote to poster 2, and 1 vote to poster 3, how many give to poster 4? 0. That's right. But then if I go over to the student voting, you get 3 new votes. So it is 10:27 where I'm located. The voting has been turned on. I'm going to give everyone, what do we think? 10 minutes? Aaron, what do you think? 10, 5? How much time do we think we should give?
Hey, let's go like 3.
2 or
3? Yeah.
Less than 5.
Less than 5.
Less than 5. I don't know if that is mimicking right. So the voting is now open. I'm going to start tallying the results. So at 10:35 or whatever time zone you're in, at 35 after, which is actually 7 minutes away, or actually at 10:30, you should have cast your votes. Then we're going to turn everything over to our community director, Megan Carter, to take us kind of out of the summer meeting, and the winning results will be announced after Megan has finished. So again, complete your voting. I will do the final tally at in about 5 minutes. I will close the form again at 10:35. And again, results will be announced at the end of Megan's slide deck. Thank you, everyone. Okay, there are 80 people on the call so far. I've recorded 64 votes for members and 41 votes. So pretty soon, Megan, I'd say we're at our 2-minute time frame for voting. So I think you can probably kick things off. And again, at 10:35, the voting forms will be closed.
All right. Well, I have your attention for just a few minutes now. So as Annie tallies those votes and we're near the end of this meeting, and I think you might all agree that what a meeting it's been, I'd like to share a few quick thoughts and reminders. First, I want to remind you that we are in the process of compiling meeting artifacts and sketch, including links to the recordings on YouTube, links to all of the presentations, which ideally include a DOI for each presentation. And you can get this by submitting the presentations to the ESIP Figshare repository using the link on the bottom left there. The session description will also contain a set of key takeaway points or take-home messages from each session. So we encourage you to do your part by contributing your presentations to the ESIP Figshare repository, and we encourage session organizers to ensure that takeaways from your session are recorded in the takeaways document linked on the bottom left here as well. And that is bit.ly/SM20 takeaways. If you didn't get a chance to attend all the sessions you wanted to at this meeting, the ESIP Meeting Highlights webinar on Thursday, August 13th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time will be a great chance to get a fast-paced overview of the outcomes and the next steps for many of the sessions from this meeting. This is also a great place to point any of your colleagues to who were not able to be present over the last couple of weeks. I'll be sending out a call for organizers who would like to present in this session, so be on the lookout for that. And usually a report out is only 2 or 3 minutes, so it's not a huge commitment, but it's a great way to alert folks to what happened there and to help others plug in. I'll also note that we will continue with our 2020 Putting Data to Work webinar series after the Meeting Highlights webinar, and we'll release more details about that soon. So speaking of engagement opportunities, many of you know this, there are numerous ways to engage with an ESIP. After this meeting, you might choose to join another collaboration area. You might think about starting a cluster if your organization is a partner. You might apply for lab funding. You could even apply to be a community fellow. Of course, you can continue to participate in ESIP meetings like this one. You could also encourage your organization to become a partner, and you could consider volunteering for a leadership role. We're happy to talk to you about any and all of these if you're interested or you want to learn more. So before we part ways today, I wanted to reflect briefly on the many roles that ESIPers play. We often talk about ESIP being a community where you can engage in the places and to the extent that is useful to you. And I've heard from a number of you that you wish you had more time to do more in and for ESIP, which makes me very happy to hear. There are also cycles in ESIP, I started to think, whereby people move into and out of roles. For example, we have yearly elections for volunteer leaders. We welcome new community fellows. We welcome new lab projects, new partners, and new attendees at our meetings. upwards of 160, I think I got the number right, at this meeting alone. And just thinking about the number of ways that people have contributed in some way over the last 20 plus years, it's really staggering if you just pause for a moment and think about that. And it's the sum of all of these contributions that makes ESIP what it is. So even as we all contribute in different ways and to differing degrees, ESIP is an all hands on deck kind of community. And as we welcome Susan as our incoming executive director, we collectively welcome her and we look forward to the many contributions that she will make. I also wanted to remind you, it's very important to remind you that ESIP recognizes good work by our community participants and partner organizations through our peer recognition awards. And we welcome nominations for these throughout the year. This is an important way that we celebrate what you all do and how we try to inspire each other. So if you've seen good work in and around ESIP by our participants, please let us know about that. If you're interested in keeping up with ESIP, I encourage you to sign up for the Monday update mailing list if you've not done so already. It's the link on the bottom left here. This is a great way to get one weekly email. I think it's the easiest way to stay in touch with ESIP and probably the lowest barrier to entry. You can also share news that you'd like to be shared there with us, and we will help magnify that to our community. ESIP staff and leadership, we also take very seriously your feedback on our meetings. I think you saw that last week when we didn't even wait to the end of the meeting to want to know your thoughts. So we hope that you'll take a few minutes when you receive the post-meeting evaluation to tell us your thoughts on this one so that we can continue to make them better. The survey takes less than 5 minutes, and I will make sure that you receive it just a few minutes after the close of this session. So I think whenever Annie is ready, we're ready for the moment that you've all been waiting for. Annie, would you like to share Funding Friday results or let us know status of that?
Yes. All right. Sorry, I was just doing the double check here. All right. Okay. I think I've got the final count. I'm just writing these down. Okay. The winners of the 2020 ESIP Summer Meeting Funding Friday Member Awards are Amber with poster 1, Sarah with poster 3, and Robert Space Debris poster 2. All right, so a big round of applause for our winners. And the student poster / teacher posters. Everyone wins, Alexis, Jake, and Anna, and Stephen. But I will say that the poster with the most votes went to Science on a Sphere with Jake and Anna. So congratulations.
Yay!
So if all of our Funding Friday winners could leave their cameras on and everyone else turn your cameras off, we're going to get a quick Funding Friday winners picture per tradition.
Alex, you need to turn yours on too.
Oh yeah, there we go. We have everyone. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna count to 3, then I'm gonna do my screen grab. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. All right. Thanks everyone. I will be in touch with all of you about how we will give your Funding Friday award. So please keep an eye out for that. And Erin, Megan, you guys there?
The only thing we are here. Yeah, the only thing I want to say is a huge thank you to Megan, Annie, and Dan and Susan as our staff team for heroically pivoting into the virtual space. I think this has been an amazing success. Somebody told me last week they thought it was a triumph. So let's just give those guys a huge round of applause and head into our Friday. Go team.
Kind of weird to just say like, all right,
thank you.
No heading to the airport.
That's right. I know. I thought like silver lining. I'm not traveling today.
I got to rush to catch my plane now.
Safe travels.
Yeah, right.
Right.